I installed a war on my computer. No, I'm serious. The icon on my desktop promised an epic intergalactic conflict. The store page was wall to wall with heavily armed space marines, terrifying alien monsters, and the kind of sci fi hardware that makes you lean forward in your chair. I was ready for chaos. I was ready for strategy. I was ready to command an elite squad in a desperate battle for humanity's survival. All from the comfort of my desk. So I launched the game, braced for impact, and saw my desktop wallpaper. But now, there was a little pixelated soldier running along the top of my screen, firing tiny bullets at bug like aliens. And what's funny is that my recording program only caught the game, not my desktop, so sorry for the black background. I waited. And I waited. I thought, okay, maybe this is just the tutorial? A fancy loading screen? But no, this was the game. A game that promised an epic war on my desktop, but what I got was a game that played itself. So why did I feel less like a commander and more like a bystander at a very, very slow parade? The game is called MARINE.EXE, Desktop RPG, and on paper it sounds incredible. The official description pitches it as a revolutionary desktop overlay AFK RPG that transforms your entire screen into a sci-fi combat zone. It boasts deep party management with 6 unique classes that evolve into 16 specialized subclasses, a robust loot and crafting system, and a dynamic quest engine. It promises a full-fledged RPG experience where you manage an elite squad battling alien hordes. The trailer is all action, showcasing customization, boss battles, and endless progression. It's a pitch designed to hook anyone who grew up with sci-fi action movies and tactical RPGs. And honestly, it works. The promise is of a game that seamlessly integrates into your daily computer use, turning mundane tasks into the backdrop for an epic war. Imagine you're slogging through spreadsheets, and in the periphery, your hand-picked squad is holding the line against some chitinous horror. It's a powerful fantasy. But then there's the reality. The key word in that entire description isn't marine, squad, or battle. It's AFK, away from keyboard. The game is explicitly designed to run on top of your desktop while you work, browse, or even play other games. The action is automated. Your Marines fight on their own, they complete objectives on their own, and for the most part, they progress on their own. Your role as the commander is to occasionally check in, upgrade some gear, and then go back to whatever you were doing. The entire premise is built not around your active participation, but your active absence. The branding suggests chaos, but the mechanics deliver passivity. Now, I'm not here to just bash idle games. As a genre, they can be incredibly compelling. Games like Adventure Capitalist have eaten more hours of my life than I'd care to admit. But there's a crucial difference between a successful idle game and what Marine.exe presents. The best idle games, often called incremental games, are about optimization. They give you a simple core loop. Click a thing, get a resource, and then build a sophisticated economy around it. The fun comes from making strategic decisions. Do I invest in oil rigs or movie studios? You, the player, are constantly making choices to make the numbers go up faster. You are designing a system. Even when you're idle, the progress you make feels earned because you set the machine in motion. Marine.exe bypasses this entire loop. It's less of an idle game and more of an AFK RPG, and there's a subtle but important distinction. Idle games are often about optimizing an economy. AFK RPGs are typically about getting rewards from offline combat. The game plays itself while you're away, and you just return to collect the loot. Marine.exe leans hard into the AFK model. Your Marines will fight, die, and repeat stages endlessly. There are choices to be made, sure. Which character to prioritize, what gear to equip, which subclass to choose. But these decisions feel less like strategic optimization and more like routine maintenance. You're not building a better engine, you're just occasionally changing the oil in a car that's already driving itself. The core gameplay loop in a good idle game is rewarding. You perform an action, get a reward, and use that reward to make the next action more efficient, creating a satisfying feedback loop of exponential growth. Here, that loop is broken. The action happens without you. You just show up to collect the loot. It misses the fundamental principle that even in a game about automation, the player needs to feel like their decisions are the primary driver of that automation's success. The best idle games make you feel smart for being lazy. This just makes you feel absent. So, why does this distinction matter so much? It all comes down to a core concept in game design: player agency. Agency is the feeling that your choices matter, that you have a meaningful impact on the game world. When you choose to recruit an orc in Shadow of War, defeat a boss a certain way in Puzzle Quest, or even just decide which aircraft to fly in Ace Combat Zero, you're exercising your agency. This sense of control is what creates a deep psychological investment. It's the difference between watching a movie and living a story. A game that plays itself fundamentally short-circuits this feeling. By removing the player from the core loop of action and immediate consequence, it removes the chance for them to feel competent, challenged, or in control. Narrative designers use player agency to make you care, giving you a hand in shaping the story. Even in linear games, you form attachments to characters because you are guiding them. MARINE.EXE tries to give you a full-fledged RPG with deep systems, but it forgets the most important system of all: the player. The joy of an RPG isn't just watching numbers go up. It's the journey that makes those numbers go up. It's the thrill of defeating a tough boss, the satisfaction of finding rare loot after a long dungeon, the feeling of your character growing stronger because of the challenges you helped them overcome. Marine.exe presents the spectacle of a war without the struggle. It gives you the rewards of victory without the satisfaction of earning it. You're not a commander leading their troops. You're an administrator signing off on paperwork they already completed. The experience is hollow because your presence is optional. The game doesn't need you, and after a while, you realize you don't really need it either. Now, I can already hear the counter-argument. It's a background app. It's not meant to be your main focus. It's for multitasking. The Steam page even says it's for playing while you work, study, or watch videos. And I get the appeal. The idea of a dynamic sci-fi battle playing out on your desktop instead of a static wallpaper is undeniably cool. The humor is supposed to come from that very absurdity, an overblown military spectacle colliding with the mundane reality of your spreadsheet. And for a little while, it is cool. It's a fun novelty, a neat desktop toy. But that novelty wears off, and you're left with a paradox. It fails as both a game and as a background application. As a background element, it's too distracting. A good background is ambient. It sets a mood without demanding your attention. A chaotic firefight with loud gunfire, health bars, and damage numbers constantly popping off is the opposite of ambient. It's always pulling your focus, but for no good reason. And as a game, as we've covered, it's too passive to be engaging. It exists in this uncanny valley of interaction, demanding enough to be a distraction, but not interactive enough to be a fulfilling experience. It asks for your screen real estate and a sliver of your attention, but what does it give in return? A stream of automated notifications. It's like trying to work with a television on, but the TV is just scrolling through a list of items somebody else found. Ultimately, Marine.exe is a fascinating thought experiment. It has complex RPG systems, a cool aesthetic, and a genuinely novel presentation. But it's an experiment that, for me, highlights a misunderstanding of what makes a game engaging. It's a game that strips away the play and leaves you with the progression. It's a beautifully crafted machine that runs perfectly well without a driver. It's a perfect example that player agency is more than just making choices in a menu. It's about the player's actions being the catalyst for the events on screen. A game can be idle, it can be incremental, it can be hands-off, but it can never be compelling if it makes the player feel like a spectator. We don't play games just to see numbers go up. We play them to feel like we're the ones making them go up. But that's just my take. What do you think? Have you ever played a game that felt like it played itself? And did you enjoy it? Let me know down in the comments. This all leads to a bigger, more philosophical question, one that gets to the very heart of this hobby. At what point does a game stop being a game and just become a screensaver?